Trump is making major changes to credit reports and credit scores for the year of 2026. Yes, again. Let me say this up front so nobody misunderstands this video. This has nothing to do with liking Trump or hating Trump. This is about how credit works, who benefits, and who gets quietly screwed when policies change. Because in February 2026, 3 major credit shifts are happening. 2 of them sound great, and 1 of them could knock millions of people out of the credit system overnight. I'm breaking this down backwards, starting with the one everyone's arguing about and ending with the one nobody is talking about but absolutely should be. So while you're watching, I want you to answer in the comments, which one do you think helps the banks more and why? Now, coming in at number 3 is the credit card interest cap. Now, we covered this in a previous video, but we finally have traction. So we need to start with the loudest one. Trump is pushing for a 1-year cap on credit card interest rates at 10%. On paper, it sounds amazing.
Trying to get interest rates down. And he said he wanted to work on that. And I said, great, let's get something done.
Because most credit cards today are sitting at 22, 26, and 30+% APR, which is outrageous. So yeah, dropping that down to 10% would feel like a major relief for Americans. But here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Banks don't just eat losses, they shift risk. Because if lenders are forced to lend at 10%, they don't magically become generous, they get pickier. And that means higher credit score requirements, lower limits, more denials, and fewer approvals for average Americans. So the real question isn't, is 10% good? The real question is, who still gets approved at 10%? And of course, history tells us the answer. High score borrowers, high income borrowers, everyone else. So drop a comment, would you rather have lower interest or easier approvals? Because you're not gonna get both. And no, I'm not taking the side of the banks. I want people to have this relief, but I want you to understand what we're up against here. Now let's move on to number 2, the Credit Access and Inclusion Act. Now this one is sneaky and honestly very powerful. This bill would allow rent, utilities, phone, internet, and other everyday bills to count towards your credit profile. Translation, the stuff you already pay for every month can finally work for you instead of doing nothing. Because for years, the system has been backwards. You pay rent on time for 10 years and nothing happens. You miss 1 credit card payment and your credit score tanks. This starts to flip that. And before someone panics, this is opt-in, not forced reporting. Meaning, you, the consumer, chooses whether it shows up. On-time payments help, and late payments don't automatically hurt you. This is huge for credit invisible people, thin files, young adults, people rebuilding after mistakes. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Once alternative data becomes normal, not having it may look suspicious. So let me know in the comments, do you want rent and utilities on your credit report? Yes or no? Because honestly, there's no wrong answer, but the long-term impact matters. Because remember, age of credit is what builds credit scores. There's been the long age-old myth that you have to have debt in order to have a high credit score, and that's just not true. You can have secured installment loans or just installment loans and no credit cards whatsoever and build your credit score up with that. Then you pair this up with your utilities and your rent, and it's just a no-brainer. It's super simple. Anybody can build their credit profile up with 0 debt. Now you can do it already, but this just takes it to the next level. But I want you to also let me know in the comments, do your landlords give you the option to report your rent? Because I have seen a trend going across different states that they're actually pushing this as a mandate. Like in California, they're pushing on it very hard. So let me know what state you're in, and are they actually doing this to help you build credit? Because they should. I mean, they're getting all this money from you. It doesn't cost them very much to report it for you. So what's the holdup is the real question. So I want to be really clear on this because, again, it's the age-old myth. You don't need credit cards or debt to build a high credit score or to build credit, period. If you're not comfortable with credit cards, that's okay. There are other alternatives like credit builders and secured loans from credit unions. This is why I'm a huge proponent for credit unions. Think about this for a second. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, PNC Bank, Chase Bank, none of those banks offer big credit builders or any credit builders. It doesn't have to be a big one, a small one, whatever. Just simply a credit builder. But credit unions do. because they want to see their members flourish. So I'm telling you right now, if you're still banking with one of those major banks, you're making a huge mistake in the new year. It's time for you to reorganize yourself and shift to a credit union that's actually going to help you grow. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using DisputeBeast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with the 110% money back guarantee. But specifically to Luis. Luis's credit score went up 261 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. And Jency's credit score went up 225 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. But let's not forget James. James's credit score went up 207 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast's link is going to be in the video description and pinned at the top of the comments for anyone that needs to fix their credit. Now moving on to number 1, the credit change that nobody is prepared for. This is the one that doesn't trend on social media, but affects approvals more than anything else. Federal agencies removed explicit guidance that prevented lenders from using citizenship and immigration status as a lending filter. So let me be clear, discrimination is still illegal, but removing guidance doesn't remove behavior. It removes clarity. That opens a door for banks to say, active social security number required, permanent residency required, and additional documentation needed. And here's the cold business side logic banks use. If someone might be deported, that's repayment risk. Loans don't care about morality, they care about probability. And understand, this doesn't just affect undocumented immigrants. It can affect green card holders, visa holders, mixed status households, and anyone without permanent status. And once lenders are allowed to reevaluate risk, it doesn't stop at new applications. Think about it: credit limit reductions, account closures, refusal to refinance, and harder underwriting across the board. Last part's the most important. So answer this honestly in the comments for me. Do banks already have too much power, or is this just risk management? That comment section is gonna get spicy, I can already see it. But here's the bottom line. These changes don't affect everyone equally. They reward stability, documentation, and predictability. And they punish uncertainty, thin files, and anything lenders can't model easily. The credit system isn't emotional, it's math, risk, and leverage. And the people who win are the ones who understand the rules before they change. If this video made you rethink how credit actually works, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm this isn't brain dead content. And comment which change worries you the most. And if you have any collections, charge-offs, or negative items that you need to delete from your credit reports, make sure to watch this video right here because it's going to show you how AI will do all the work for you, mail your letters, and it comes with the 110% money back guarantee and a free credit analysis to show you what's hurting your credit and help you fix it instantly. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.